I didn't think of an intro to do.
Well, Lauren promised us an intro, so... Oh.
Wow! I feel attacked.
So our intro is the lack of intro from either Kat or Lauren.
We could Tobin it.
That would be a different hat. Should I get the different hat?
You don't have a song for the unicorn?
No, I don't. Not at the top of
We
my
can do
head.
Charlie, or was it Candy Mountain?
Nope, I don't know.
You don't know Candy Mountain?
No.
No.
It's a Leopardon, Charlie. Like, and he's like, no, oh my God, we have some things to watch.
All right. So, welcome back to Lensflare, a podcast where the people for Ignis Umbra talk about our shoots, talk about what works, what doesn't, and how to make your modeling and photography and videography better. So today we have a guest, Lauren.
Hi.
So she is Gotham PD on Instagram and TikTok and probably most places.
All the things.
I try to
Kind of.
I try to get it on everything. As soon as any social media goes live, I try to get Gotham PD. And there's an actual Gotham PD, and I feel like they're going to be very upset that I have all their stuff.
That's okay. They were just too slow.
Exactly.
But today's episode isn't about social media. Today's episode is going to be us doing a deep dive into our Bloodbath shoot.
Which is probably one of my favorite shoots that we've ever done.
People who expect a Bloodbath shoot are not expecting this. Go ahead and bring up photo one.
All right.
It's a new
Photo
feature, guys.
1.
So here is the beautiful Lauren. She's got her fangs out and she's got a lot of blood. And I feel like when most people think of a bloodbath shoot, they're thinking of bath bombs in water.
No.
We bring A game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this was not, definitely not what you would normally see, I feel like,
No.
in a bloodbath. But, I mean, you definitely bring your A game every time that we've ever done any photo shoot. So I expect no less.
Yeah, I think that most bloodbath shoots are inspired by the original countess who would bathe in the blood of people to stay young or whatever, right? So
Right.
that's like the origin of what most people, in particular usually women, that want to do a bloodbath shoot. And then they're in a warm bathtub with bubbles. And it's pink.
We went straight hostile with this one.
We went really dark.
So I tried to cut my cost by adding water. And that didn't work so well.
That was so funny because we were like, oh, yeah, we're going to make it into a real bath. No, because we added soap to it. And so there was bubbles. And
Right, talk about the soap. You say it like people at home should know why there's soap in our blood.
so that you can wash it off easily.
So that's a little tip to you guys at home. If you're looking for how to make blood, it's super easy. It's so easy to make, but it does require some artistry. When you make it, I typically make 2 batches. I make one for face and for people to have in their mouth and things for
eat.
Lauren to eat.
It's for me to eat, let's be honest.
Delicious.
It's so good. Like, I can't even tell you how good that blood is. We used it on a shoot the other day, and I saw it was out, and I was like, "Is that blood?" And Rich was like, "Yeah, it is." And I was like, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." And I walked over to the knife, and I took a fingerful, and I just walked away. They were like, "What just happened?"
So it involves copious amounts of red and blue food coloring, which, of course, red is going to stain clothes.
It does.
Yeah.
It made white lingerie pink.
That's why I wore black.
Yes.
But when it's going to be on clothes, and I'm sure it's going to be on clothes, then I add free and clear dish soap, and that allows it to wash off pretty well. Actually, it washes off really, really well. I mean, obviously, white stains so easily that I just don't feel bad about that.
We
Yeah.
knew it was going to happen
Yeah, we knew.
anyway.
Yeah. So that's why there was soap in it. And of course, this was for people to bathe in as opposed to the just people pouring it on their faces, though that happened. All right, I mean, it covered them completely and it looks great here, as you can see. But the water was not a good combination. It really just bubbled up.
And it
looked like
thinned it
suds,
out.
And it thinned it out.
It thinned out the color.
It was
so
everything we
wasn't
didn't
as-
want.
Yeah, that was a learning experience.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, the photos that we did get from it, you wouldn't be able to tell. I don't know. Did you edit the bubbles out, or because I feel like just that photo itself, like you could see the blood in the tub. It still looks like blood in the tub.
But when people were laying in it, there were so
Right.
many bubbles.
So you were the fourth person in the blood.
All the bubbles had gone away.
Yeah, yeah. So it started with Anna, and that we stopped the water right away because the water was going to be a big problem. We could tell. We just stopped adding water, and then we poured blood on her, so that helped offset the bubbles. Then it was Kayla, I think, and we added more blood, and then we added Leiden, and then we added Ricky.
Or Leiden.
Yeah, that was.
And each time we just kept pouring another couple pints of blood onto the people.
So then maybe if you were to try this, if we were to put the water in first and then pour the blood in and mix it and then let it sit while we're doing other shoots, so that way any bubbles that might remain would settle.
It's still
It
going to
would be cold. But I mean, suffer
There's
for your
certain
art.
things. Talk to
Suffer
Leiden.
for your
What did
art.
Leiden do? He suffered. I feel like we wouldn't suffer the same way that Leiden suffered for Wolverine.
He likes to suffer.
No, that's true. Suffering is not really a factor. It really isn't, guys. Like, if you're in this to be super comfortable, don't do a bloodbath shoot, or don't do no.
Don't even do any kind of photography because all the best poses are so uncomfortable.
You literally feel like
Well,
you've been
do all the photography. What are you talking about?
no,
mean,
like
being a
posing,
model.
like don't
model.
don't model,
Don't
yeah.
model.
But you literally feel like you've been at the gym for hours by the time, like the next morning. I know I if I'm doing a shoot, I know the next morning I'm starting it off with ibuprofen just to like get it all, all the swelling and the aches. So you're just like, oh gosh, what did I do to myself?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
worth it.
I held that pose for like a minute.
Yeah, but then Rich delivers these pictures and you're like, so worth it. So worth it every time.
So I don't think that next time we would want to experiment with adding the water, because I don't know. I don't want to do anything unless we already know the outcome we're trying to get.
I mean, if we just want to fill the tub with straight blood, I'm okay with that. I will do whatever. You know me.
It's going to look a certain way that isn't going to look the same as pink water.
Right.
That's why I don't think it's very worthwhile to just to add the water at all.
Right.
It's okay to have the girl floating and then pour the blood drizzled over her.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're not adding the water to the blood, which is a problem if you have dish soap in it. And you have the blood floating on top of the girl or the guy. Maybe that's fine, but why? What are you getting out of it other than just saving money?
Right.
And I just think, like, to do this kind of shoot, you just have to accept that it's going to be expensive. You're going to be literally pouring all this blood down the drain.
It's all chocolate. It's so good, though.
Chocolate, yeah.
Gallons.
We used Hershey's. I probably should look into buying some sort of generic. But it was just like, that's what
I'll still eat it.
was on Amazon and stuff. It was actually cheap. It wasn't cheap when you're talking about 4 gallons of it, but it was cheap.
Cheap enough.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get it from Costco or Sam's Club.
No, they were the big ones too. So I'm sure.
So that's where I tried first.
Oh, really?
And I was starting to stress really
Really?
hardcore,
Okay.
because I was like, I'm pretty sure that they have chocolate.
I feel
large
like-
amounts of chocolate.
You would think that especially being here, that there would be a place for like a large amount of chocolate to be
Well,
purchased.
there's restaurant supply stores for sure.
Right.
And that's probably the key.
Okay.
That's where you really want to go. We got our Hershey chocolate, I think, from Amazon.
Okay.
And it was cheaper than what we could get from Sam's Club. At
Okay.
the time, we didn't go to Costco a lot, so maybe we could try there too. But I think that you're absolutely right that if we found a restaurant supply store, that's where you can probably get gallons and gallons and gallons of chocolate
Which would be
syrup.
perfect for
Yeah,
filling a
which would be
tub.
And corn syrup too, because this is a 50-50 mixture of Caro corn syrup with Hershey chocolate syrup. And that gives you the perfect consistency and color, and it dries and coagulates, which I really appreciated in the images.
You do get quite sticky.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
But nobody wants to hear about, a bunch of models getting all sticky and wet from, like, oh wait, yes they do. It's literally what
I was
they
about
want.
to be like, wait, what?
Do we need another photo? I'm like,
Let me remind you.
Hold on. What about that one? So
So here you can see the chocolate is being, the blood is being poured on top of her. And that's what we did for each person. And you can see the bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
And so the bubbles didn't just fully go away. And I didn't Photoshop them out. I could have, I guess. But
but then you lose like the shine and some stuff.
You know, I still feel like blood would still bubble a little bit.
I think so. I think this
Because of
amount of
air.
bubbles was fine.
Yeah.
The suds
Suds would.
It was a
was the
lot.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was for Anna initially, it was like, hold up. This is a problem. I thought that this shoot, like these images turned out exactly like what I was visualizing. And I was just really happy. And I don't see them anywhere.
I post them. Or I
No, no,
try
no.
to.
Oh, I mean, I see our images.
Oh, I was like, I post these. I love them.
But I don't see like a lot of blood shoots like
Because
these.
there's a lot of like controversy over blood play. Because it looks real.
That was our biggest complaint.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would make sure that everybody understands is that these are almost for private use because they don't typically do very well on social media.
Which is a shame because they're amazing photos. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing photos.
Is it just for like America or
No.
are they censored in other countries as well?
Maybe all of these amazing photos are actually on the dark web and we just don't know it.
I mean, maybe.
It's like there's got to be like a dark web following for
I mean,
just
I'm
these.
sure there's a Reddit for it.
Yeah, big,
There's a
gotta
big,
be.
big on a
Yeah.
subreddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. /r/cannibalism or something. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, they should do well in some of the darker places of the internet.
Yeah.
They should have done well, I thought, for like Red August. Like she does all kinds of different fetishes and her stuff gets mega views. Like she regularly gets, 2,000, 2,500 views on her images and things. So she loved it, but she didn't get anything out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think OnlyFans has rules against it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was,
Pussies.
Wait, I have one of those.
It's just chocolate. Like, come on now.
but you can't tell the difference.
I know it's because you're that good.
Yeah. So let's go through some of the other images and no? There we go.
All right, there's Lauren with some fang and her eyes open.
So this was a couple different people holding lights over the person. This was no flash, right? This was just static light, if I remember right. So
Yeah.
yeah. And at the time, getting portable lights that were bright enough was really hard. So actually, this was a struggle. Honestly, it was really a struggle to light up your guys' eyes and make sure that you guys didn't look too shadowy because we were in a bathroom that was covered in like they were like tarps, basically like tarps covering everything because we didn't want
Blood everywhere.
blood everywhere, and the backdrop of this bathroom was really boring, and it just, it's supposed to look like a vampire den. It's not supposed to look like, here's suburban Vegas.
Yeah, I remember I broke the towel rod because I was like, oh, we don't need this. We're gonna remodel anyway.
Yeah, instead of just taking a screwdriver and like removing it from the wall, no, she just
was
rips
all
it off the
wobbly
wall.
anyway.
It was wobbly, but she just ripped it right
Straight
I
savage.
straight She-Hulked it.
I mean, She-Hulk's very popular right now.
off.
It's
And
okay.
if not, it's gonna be soon.
Well, we're definitely seeing it at work.
Oh.
People are picking up She-Hulk right now because the series is coming.
Because
So
they're
Yeah.
hoping things will be worth money or something.
they're always,
after.
everybody always hopes that every comic they pick up is going to be worth $1 million.
Once the movie comes out, the MCU will make that character super popular, and sometimes maybe it happened once a long time ago, but
If it's Spider-Man, that's pretty much your solid bet. If you pick up
I mean,
like
he's
a
number
first appearance of
one.
Spider-Man in AF-15, you're done. You're good. You just gotta. The trick for that is after you pick it up, you have to find someone to buy it.
that's usually the trick.
Yeah, we'll buy it, but
Listen, Spider-Man is OG.
I'm just saying if that's what you want to do. But back to the shoot though. I definitely, this water wasn't that cold for me.
Well, no, because we were worried about Anna getting seizures.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because when she has severe temperature changes, she gets seizures.
Gotcha.
And that makes it difficult because on one hand, we don't want the models to be shiny. We don't want them sweating. And so typically I want the area to be cold.
Gotcha.
And I'm okay if people are uncomfortable because normally it doesn't have medical effects.
Right.
And I've never had a model say, I'd rather be warm and comfy, even if it makes my forehead shiny.
No.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No,
I would definitely be like, it's fine if it's freezing in here. I'll just shiver like Ricky was, right? Wasn't she shivering in between
I think she was.
on this one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
She just got cold.
She just did? Yeah.
She wasn't eating enough of the blood. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a new photo?
So one thing I want to point out here is on this image, the hands, I think, have this great effect. Like she murdered someone because her arms are clean-ish. And you can see just her hands have just been immersed in the blood. And I think it gives a really great effect. And again, I just think this is something, there is no way you can duplicate this with a bath bomb. There's no way you can duplicate this with just like Halloween Express party store blood. This looks so good. And the mess around the bathtub, which came from the people when like using the sides of the bathtub to sit up and to pull themselves out of the bathtub. But that's what would happen, right? That's what would like if you just
Definitely.
murder someone and you're having some sort of cannibalistic orgy in the bathtub, this is it.
Yep.
This is what it would look like.
My goal was to keep my hands out of the water so I could eat the blood off my fingers because the blood in the bathtub water was non-edible. So I definitely had to try to keep my hands from touching
And
the...
to be fair, dish soap is not toxic.
It's not, but it definitely
Doesn't
changes
taste
the
good.
taste.
It does.
So I don't want
Does
to...
not taste good at all.
I shouldn't say I don't want to because I definitely would have eaten it anyhow and then been like... and blowing bubbles. So
No.
So
Yeah.
this is Ricky, and Ricky did something very different than everybody else. She was the only one who came in wearing all white.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was so classy.
yeah. I mean, you got to give it to her. She's always trying to be a little bit different. And it made such a good transition so that her with any other vampire made both of you look good.
Right.
Made you look good and made her look good because she was different.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was you and Kayla, you and Ricky, it just wasn't as good.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, in a perfect world, you'd have like 4 vampires who all looked like 4 different color schemes.
Right.
But we just let everybody just come as whatever. And
Yeah.
if we talk about this with each of the other models, it's going to be Ricky plus the other person, Ricky plus the other person. And, so she started off by feeding you blood, which you can see it trailing from her fingers. And there's a certain, I just think there's a certain beauty with the thickness of the blood on the fingers.
Right.
Like
I definitely agree.
gooey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can't get with any normal, like you said, spirit
Yeah.
blood or something like that.
And it's
Like,
not the same shine either. It's just different.
well, it hits differently. I feel like even you can see it on my collarbone, shoulder area from where it's dropping down. It's so dark.
Yeah, it looks like arterial blood.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I love it.
Now, how many times have you shot with Ricky?
Oh, goodness. I feel like I've shot with her. Well, at that time, I think maybe that might have been my second or third time shooting with her. Because I had shot with her earlier that day at a chair. But other than that, I mean, at that time, I don't think that I had shot with her very frequently.
So I don't think at this point, while we had shot with each of you multiple times, none of you had really shot together before this shoot.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. You have your arms on her like side, and I just think there was something like almost bonding from doing these images together, that you guys just got really comfortable really fast, and you were just giggling and just guys like you were all having fun.
I feel like I get comfortable once I know somebody's limits.
Yeah.
If someone's like, I don't have limits, like, you're good, then I'm like, oh, okay, then I expect this person to actually have no limits and be comfortable with whatever I'm doing. With Ricky, after this shoot, I feel like we could shoot just about anything and be comfortable with whatever we would do with one another. So she definitely makes you feel comfortable. I know this was my first shoot in such little amount of clothing.
It was.
It really was.
But after that was like cherry popping. After that, now you guys are always like, Lauren, your nipples out. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. But I was talking to Kat about this the other day, that I don't know that I could shoot without you guys being on set and feel as comfortable as I feel with you guys being there. I just, you guys make it such a safe space that I feel comfortable. It's like, oh, well, my nipple's out. It doesn't matter. Even if someone were to do something, I know that you guys would check that behavior and correct it,
Yeah. That's something I think we should probably have a whole episode about, but we'll talk a little bit about it. The thing is that, right, there's nothing actually special about your nipple. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
But,
That's true.
but, right, it's only anything because of like Puritan weirdness about it, right? So most of the world doesn't care about nipples at all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's like an American Puritan thing. It's just nothing. It's just not a sexual like focus for most people on the planet.
Right.
I don't know most, maybe about half. It's not a big deal. And if you don't treat it like it's a big deal, very quickly, I think everybody on set starts to relax and like breathe a little bit, because we have all these like restraints and like constrictions on how we behave. And I think that's why the porn stars can be on our sets and interact with the non-porn stars, and everybody can just have a good time, and everybody can just try to create art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a much more, I guess, safer. I feel safe, you know what I mean, with you guys. So this was definitely the first time that I'd ever been in such little clothing I had no pasties. I know some of the girls, right? Someone tried pasties, I feel like, for a moment, and then they fell off and they were like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah. So Red August, she's a porn star. She obviously doesn't care about people seeing anything, but she wanted Instagram safe images. And if we were to look at her images, she's just completely nude, but she tried with pasties so that she could actually be completely nude, but
They didn't work.
they didn't work. They just fell off right away.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of back shots and a lot of side boob.
Yeah.
And then she found out at that time she didn't know that they couldn't be used on OnlyFans, and she didn't know that they.
Right. Because
Which
of
is
the
all
blood.
She was
sad.
excited. She was
She was so happy.
because she would have been happy to do this kind of shoot like all the time. If this was like a thing that made her money, she would have been like
Every day.
yeah. But it wasn't, and it didn't, and it becomes just like private. I don't know, whatever you call private clips or whatever, but it just became like something useful for that. Yeah. So, like I said, it's just for private use. I think galleries, like if we wanted, we could have a gallery with these images and we could put them up, and I think that they would do well.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because then it's for people for their homes. It's not for the internet. The internet is strangely Puritan sometimes, even though there's all kinds of Instagram that you
Aren't
can
they,
see
though?
nipples and you can see, honestly, you can see everything. You can see vaginas, you can see everything on Instagram. But until you catch the attention of the Puritan warriors, then they're fine. And those accounts will have like 50,000 views. And then one day they'll just be gone because finally they made somebody angry.
You know, I've put some of these images up and I've never gotten any
No.
comments or anything on Instagram
No.
or yeah.
Do you have 2,000 view
No.
images? Like 2,000 like images?
What do you mean?
Like, do
I have a following that large? No.
No. Did you post? You don't need that large of a following to get a 2,500 like post.
Oh, no.
So if
I
any-
guess that not that many people saw it.
And the reason why not that many people saw it is because the algorithm chose not to show it to that many people.
Okay.
So that's what like the people who pay their bills off of social media like look at and understand is that they're really fixated on what is the algorithm doing with
Gonna
this
let
type
me-
of content.
Yeah, it's gonna what is the algorithm gonna let be seen,
Yeah.
essentially.
I have an image of Leiden naked on TikTok. Actually, let's move this over to the behind the scenes bonus cast. So if you guys are followers, you can join us and we'll have some kind of deeper conversation about social media related to these kind of like blood shoots and everything. And you'll hear, some other behind the scenes fun stuff. And if not, we'll end this here and join us next time with Lensflare.
Thanks for stopping by, and click like, subscribe, hit the bell, do the thing, leave a comment.
Bye.
Bye.